Hi everyone, it's Sandra. Today's video is going to be a bit of a fun interlude. Some of my favorite people on YouTube have recently done this, and it's honestly just too much fun not to jump on the bandwagon and do it as well. I think Taylor was the first to do this last month. We're going to go back in time and revisit my very first Sephora orders. If you just log into your Beauty Insider account on Sephora, there's a purchase history list, and you can go and scroll all the way down and it will actually show you what your first purchase was when you signed up to their Beauty Insider program. And the oldest purchase on here that was logged was from May 29th, 2008. So that is a decade ago, which is crazy. A decade of beauty junkiness has passed. And yeah, if you want to go and check your purchase history, let me know what your first Sephora purchase was in the comment section below. I think it'd be super fun to revisit. In 2008, I was definitely not doing the bulk of my beauty shopping at Sephora. I rarely shopped at Sephora because there was no Sephora near me, and Sephora online for Canadians was super expensive. At that time, they didn't have any warehouses in Canada, so you had to go through a third-party agency called Border Free, and duty and shipping charges were so high, and it took weeks to get your stuff. And yeah, I did not shop on Sephora.com very often. Most of my beauty shopping was done either at the MAC counter or at Shoppers Drug Mart. And I wish I could see like my Shoppers Drug Mart beauty boutique history. I think that would be a lot juicier than my Sephora history from 10 years ago, just because I didn't do that much shopping at Sephora back then. But I did buy my very first eyeshadow palette on May 29th, 2008, and it was from Urban Decay. Now, this is before the Urban Decay Naked palette was invented. I actually never bought the original Naked palette. The only Urban Decay Naked palette I own are the little Urban Decay Naked Basics. This is my oldest Naked palette that I own. And I have the Naked Heat palette, which I also love. So my very first Urban Decay palette was the Urban Ammo Eye palette, and it no longer exists. I no longer have it. I actually remember selling it in a blog sale a long time ago. But at that point in time, I was really into purple eyeshadow. Even my first MAC eyeshadow that I bought was called Beauty Marked, and it was like this black eyeshadow with purple shimmer running through it. It's just funny because I very rarely ever, if ever, wear purple eyeshadows now, but I was really into purple eyeshadow 10 years ago, and I bought the Urban Decay Ammo Eye palette because it has two really pretty, really glittery, shimmery purple colors in it, and those are the only colors that I used from that palette. I remember being super obsessed with them. But yeah, I ended up parting ways with that palette. I don't have it anymore. Definitely remember the glitter fallout from that purple shadow, and I just didn't care. I just loved it so much. Next, I didn't do any purchasing at Sephora until January 8th, 2009. I went over to Somerset Mall in Michigan, and I bought my first NARS blush. Now, in 2009, I remember I was really obsessed with Lollipop 26 on YouTube, and she had a very impressive NARS blush collection. So I felt the need to invest and get some NARS blushes in my life. And my very first NARS blush was Deep Throat. I actually never bought the color Orgasm, which is the most famous blush color that NARS makes. I just ended up going with Deep Throat, and I actually still have it. It doesn't smell weird, it doesn't look strange or anything like that. NARS blushes are super pigmented. You get a lot of product, and I haven't even hit pan on it. I don't even own that much blush, but honestly, I very rarely use up an entire blush. Have any of you ever used up a NARS blush? How long did it take you? Let me know. This is, God, it's kind of shocking that this blush is 9 years old and it looks like I just bought it last month. There's definitely a dent in it, but these blushes are just super pigmented, and I have gone through phases where I was using this a lot, but I haven't reached for it in a long time, and I'm kind of like emotionally attached to it at this point. I don't want to part ways with it, even though I should, but it really doesn't smell bad. It smells like a new NARS blush, which is like, what's in this? It's like the Immortal blush. Beautiful color, beautiful texture, has a soft, like a nice peachy pink color with a soft shimmer running through it. Wow, I can't believe I can't believe it's been that long. But yeah, my very first NARS blush is still in my life. Now, moving on, we have a Dior Show Waterproof Mascara. Now, I obviously don't have this anymore. And I remember this mascara was super, super popular. It still is one of the most popular mascaras. I can still see it referenced in any interviews that I read with like celebrity makeup artists, or if I pick up a magazine. People are still referencing this mascara. It's a classic. It's still around. People are still buying it. They're still making it. And yeah, I didn't really love it. I mean, I don't think I have repurchased it since, but it's definitely still around and people still love it. Next, we have July 2009. I bought the NARS Laguna Bronzing Powder. Now, I have gone through a couple of these over the years and it's nice. It's, again, still a classic. It's still a bronzer that people love and use. It has definitely lasted the test of time. I actually did use this up completely. And yeah, I liked it, but I didn't like it enough to keep buying. I think I've found bronzers that I like better over the years. Next, September 2009, I bought the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. Now this is still one of the most talked about products on YouTube. It has definitely stood the test of time. It's definitely a classic. And while I didn't love it, I think it took me like 2 years to use up that whole powder. This was before the under eye baking thing was a trend. So I just remember using it just as like a traditional powder. I would actually use it with a little powder puff that it came with, or with a big fluffy powder brush and put it all over my face. I think now when I look at the people that are still using this, people are mainly using this to set and to like bake their under eye area. And I have a Laura Mercier powder that I love for that purpose. It's the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. Now I didn't buy this until many, many years later, but this is a product that I love. This is a Laura Mercier powder that I use under my eyes and that I love, but yeah, I never really got into the translucent loose setting powder under my eyes because I don't think I was using it for that purpose back in 2009, but it's definitely still a classic. My current favorite loose powder for all over my face is the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydro Powder. Now, unfortunately, this is not something you can buy at Sephora, but I actually disliked this powder when I first bought it because I bought it to do my under eye area with it. Don't like this for the under eyes, but I love this for my T-zone. If you have oily combination skin and you want a really good loose powder for oil control, definitely check out the Hyaluronic Hydro Powder from By Terry. It's a good one. Now we're going into 2010. And we have my second ever NARS blush, which of course I still have, and it's NARS Madly. Now this definitely has had a lot more love than my other NARS blush. This is one of my favorite blushes, but again, made a dent in it, can't see pan anytime soon. How long do these blushes last? Are they immortal? I can't even believe it. I can't even believe that this blush is 8 years old, and I do use this all the time. This is a blush that I pull out every single year. I love to use this in like the spring to summer transition months. I use this all the time, but I don't know, maybe I just don't apply enough or something, but it doesn't smell weird. I'm gonna keep it in my collection. I'm gonna keep using it, and maybe in 2020 I'll hit pan. All right, next up we have Makeup Forever Smoky Lash Mascara. Now this mascara brings back so many fond memories. I have bought this mascara numerous times over the years. This was my holy grail mascara and I loved it. The only thing I didn't like about it is that it dried out too fast. So it's an expensive mascara and it's a lot to just keep repurchasing it. It would kind of start to go bad after about a month. It's not currently in my makeup collection. I still think it's a great mascara and I would definitely not be opposed to purchasing it again, but I just think that there are just so many awesome mascaras on the market right now. We're really spoiled for choice. It's kind of hard to stay loyal to that one. And there are mascaras that I have found since that are equal in terms of volume and length and separation, but the tube lasts a lot longer. So I'm definitely more likely to purchase one of those mascaras over the Smoky Lash just because I remember the Smoky Lash did not last. The next purchase that we have is another NARS blush, which I actually no longer have. I gave this away a long time ago. It's the NARS blush in Sin. It was a darker berry tone with gold shimmer. It's a beautiful blush for fall. I very rarely use it. I didn't love it that much on my skin tone in the end, so I ended up passing it on. And then I purchased the Bare Minerals eyeshadow in the color Nude Beach. Now I remember specifically why I bought this. This was definitely a YouTube influence purchase. I bought this because of Lisa D1. She was the one that introduced me to this color. And this was beautiful. I don't have it anymore just because it was like a loose, shimmery pigment type of color, and those I'm just really lazy and I just rarely reach for loose eyeshadows now. I much prefer just a pressed plain old powder shadow or a cream shadow, but this was a beautiful color. It looks like they don't make it anymore. So we have 2011, we have the Caudalie Beauty Elixir. This was another very famous product. A lot of people still love it and it's still very much talked about in the beauty community, but I hated this. I didn't think it smelled good. I found it to be really irritating and I just never got the hype with this product. It's like one of the most sold face mists at Sephora, and yeah, I just never really got along with it. Next, we have another Laura Mercier powder. We have the Laura Mercier Mineral Powder. This is another Lisa D1 inspired purchase. And unfortunately, I was allergic to this. This is like one of the only beauty products I ever actually returned. I don't usually return stuff. Even if it doesn't work for me, I usually either pass it on to a friend or a coworker, or I figure out a way to make it work for me. But unfortunately, yeah, I was allergic to this. It broke me out in a rash and I ended up returning it. Next up, September 22nd, 2011, I bought the Tarte Amazonian 12-hour blush in the color Exposed. And you guessed it, I still have it. I think this must have been when this blush range first came out. It's definitely a color that they still make. It used to be the shit. Like everybody on YouTube used to talk about this. This is such an easy, no fuss blush. I don't even need to use a bronzer with it. It's definitely a product that I reach for on the weekend. And I only hit pan on this year. So it's definitely taken a bit of time, but I'm happy that I actually hit pan on this. There's actually a chance of me using this up. Still performs just as good as it did on the first day that I had it. Now, my November 2011 purchase was also a Tarte Amazonian blush, and it was the color Tipsy, which I remember specifically buying for Anna from the Anna Edit. We had done a swap and she really wanted this color. I don't think she has it anymore, but yeah, I remember buying this for her and I'm sure she loved it for a very long time. It was quite a classic. Sephora Fifth Avenue. This must have been when I first went to New York, and I bought 3 things. I bought the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel, which is still, I actually just used up another 2 of it last month. It's a classic. It's a really good clear brow gel. It's one of the best clear brow gels on the market. I also bought a Bumble & Bumble. It was like a brown dry shampoo, which I remember hated. It was terrible and it's no longer available, so they must have discontinued it. And I also bought a Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. This never worked for me, so I only ever ended up buying a little mini version of it, and I remember trying it again. I had another mini of it like 2-3 years ago. My friend Dina gave it to me and I tried it again and I still didn't like it. So this is one of those popular primers that never ended up working for me. We have March 2012, I bought a Clarisonic brush head. I was really into my Clarisonic in 2012. Actually, when I scrolled up in like 2012, 2013, 2014, I was just buying replacement brush heads like crazy. I must have been using my Clarisonic consistently. I no longer do that. And then the Saint Tropez Tanning Essentials, the Tan Applicator Mitt. Always pick one up when I'm at Sephora. Shopper Drug Mart carries them as well. I still actually have, I'm not going to show it to you because it's absolutely disgusting. I don't have the one from 2012, thankfully, but I still use this brand Tan Applicator Mitt. I think I'm going to end it here. I've gone through, what, 4 years of Sephora purchases. I hope that you found this fun. I certainly have enjoyed watching other people kind of go back and ponder their first ever Sephora purchases. Let me know what your first Sephora purchase was in the comment section below. I hope you're having a lovely Thursday, and I will see you next time with a new video. Bye.